You've tuned in to Stranger Than Fiction News, broadcasting live from the dark side of the planet. No need to worry. Trump will save you. Only hundreds of thousands will die, not millions, after they've allowed this virus to spread coast to coast. Where are their rallies now? Ladies and gentlemen, that is the question.
The coronavirus.
This is their new hoax.
We have it totally under control. It's one person coming in from China.
One day it's like a miracle, it will disappear.
When you have 15 people, and within a couple of days it's going to be down to close to zero, we really think we've done a great job in keeping it down to a minimum.
I like this stuff. I really get it. People are surprised that I understand it.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
You know, they're starting to freak out in New Orleans, and they're like, oh, maybe it was the Mardi Gras that started the epidemic over there. Think how many people have been contaminated at these election rallies months after it kicked off in Wuhan, months after people were warning them to stop contaminating people. They just didn't want to listen. They wanted to kill everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, look at these excellent outfits. We need to get some of these, ladies and gentlemen, for this new world order. And beware the second wave. It's coming next winter. We're going to get a nice taste of it here in the coming weeks as it peaks. Hundreds of thousands, millions perhaps will die in this first wave. What will the second wave be like? You know what they're not telling you right now is that this is airborne AIDS. People will relapse, they'll get reinfected. This will never go away, and it's only going to get worse. That's what they're not telling people. But in the meantime, they're trying to sell themselves as the heroes of the situation. They've saved you. Hundreds and thousands.
Very critical. We need to know immediately. The world is entitled to know. The Chinese government was the first to know of this risk to the world. We're in a live exercise here to get this right. We're in a live exercise here to get this right.
No shit, a live exercise. Did you hear that? That's like another 9/11. And right now there's about 2,500 deaths in America. A couple hundred more and we'll be right at 9/11, but that's just the beginning. That's the hors d'oeuvre, if you will. Just wait until this thing really kicks off. We're already getting images and videos of body bags in semis. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be getting into that and the like. How prepared are you in your community is the question. How prepared are you out there right now? What's to come? We'll get into that. We'll be covering this as this story unfolds. Be sure to check out our website, stfnreport.com. New and improved. Updates all the time. Let people know where we've landed. We've been censored so many times in the free states of America. Ladies and gentlemen, how's everybody doing out there? We're hacking the Matrix. We're hacking the screw tube, broadcasting live out there. Much love to everyone out there. We need to get respirators like this. Ladies and gentlemen, how long will it be before we can get our hands on these? Should have got them before they went out of stock. Hope you got some masks. Don't go out there without protective gear. Virus load matters. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting into the news. Oh, the video guy is fired as usual. The Italians are freaking out, of course. Their numbers have skyrocketed. They're now painting over the European Union flag on their license plates. They don't want to have any part of that. They want to join the Chinese forces. Here's some new video from China. Major derailment. And we've seen some real horrific pictures here. Maybe not as horrific as the body bags that are piling up due to this Chinese bioweapon that's been released and allowed to spread throughout the world. They let this stuff spread on purpose, trying to infect everyone. They've got the antidote. They don't seem too worried because they got the antidote, ladies and gentlemen, but they're all out there like David Geffen just laughing at you as you're trying to get your little shopping cart full of gear. You know what I mean? So there needs to be a revolution. There needs to be a 1776 2.0 after this shit. You know, they want to come out there and be like our, you know, our saviors and the like. They didn't save nothing. They condemned us all, ladies and gentlemen. They've unleashed their police state. They've suspended constitutional rights with their state of emergency, with their Stafford Act. And here comes the National Guard. Here comes the military. Even Cuomo says Trump has declared war on the states. This is just the beginning. Uh-oh. The video guy.
This is a police message. You must stay indoors.
You must stay indoors. You've become an inmate. Your inmate number is your social security number. And what these socialists have done is they've brought the concentration camp to you. They're not bringing you to a concentration camp. They're bringing the gas chamber to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is what complacency gets us. New York death toll, 1,000 people, 1,000 bodies. Global cases, 735,000. U.S. has 143,000 cases. And it's like 100,000 cases a day now, basically, worldwide. Second Wuhan doctor who tried to warn of the dangers has disappeared. Lots of people have disappeared in China. Lots of journalists, lots of whistleblowers. Lots of people. And, you know, this is part of a program, ladies and gentlemen. This is part of a script. And what we saw in Wuhan is happening in Western societies right now. Mass roundups, liquidation, censorship, suspension of rights, the full nightmare, the works. No symptoms, no test, right? And they're basically condemning everyone to die at home. And we're not getting the true numbers. We're not getting the true feel for what's going on out there, ladies and gentlemen, to say the least. But you get the idea as far as how bad this is going to be. And it seems like we're having fun with the music out there with the DJ. What's this? This is what your supermarket will look like as soon as supplies start running out. It's begun. The zombie apocalypse. The zombies are out there everywhere, ransacking shit. And, you know, China and Asia is kind of like the future. So what you're seeing happening over there is going to be happening over here. It's a syndrome. It's a script. And it looks like the second wave is beginning out there. More cases, again, of the drop-dead virus. They got so many people, they can't hide them all. Major fires. Beware, they're going to try and ruin your air quality. Air quality matters so much. If we were to overlay the outbreak map with the pollution maps, you'd see a strong correlation. The eastern half of the U.S. is much more polluted than the western half. That's where the majority of the cases are. I mean, straight down the Mississippi, east of the Mississippi, boom. You've got, you know, the major outbreak, the major pollution. Northern Italy, highly polluted. Eastern France, highly polluted. And the like. China, of course, highly polluted. This is a respiratory disease, and inflammation makes the disease accelerate. Any organic volatile compound, detergents, perfume, you name it, will accelerate the situation. This is from New York. And we're starting to wonder if, you know, this thing isn't designed for certain genotypes, ethnicities, if you will. And we're seeing certain communities being higher hit than others. The blacks and the Jews, of course, as well as Iranians, Chinese. And I wouldn't be surprised if this thing is engineered for the Russians as well. Seems like a new world order wet dream. Seems like the video guy is on vacation as usual. Ladies and gentlemen, how's everybody doing out there? You got all your supplies? You ready for the National Guard going door to door? But, you know, this virus, this bioweapon, it's no flu out there. It's airborne AIDS. And people will keep getting reinfected. They'll keep relapsing. And that's just the beginning of the story. And this just shows you with a shovel. A shovel is all it takes out there. Seems like the peasant revolution is beginning again in communist China. Here's a very interesting little news article. Tokyo's infections spike after the Olympic delay was announced. Before the announcement of the delay, they're like, they got no cases. And then afterwards, it was like, boom, it exploded over there. So obviously governments are manipulating the information, like Chernobyl, like Fukushima, like every other disaster. Oh, here's the Democrats. Check this out. See that? See what they do? Right. Look at their districts. They're killing Americans. They're, you know, basically removing everything that might help them and rendering them victims of the system, ladies and gentlemen, through education, healthcare, economic policies, and the like. U.S. testing, 122,000 positive out of 770 approximately tested total. That's a 15% rate, which is, you know, many times worse than South Korea, which started earlier. So we're trying to catch up to this virus, and we never will. Ladies and gentlemen, they lost months. If you're wondering, you know, what's going on with this video, I think it's the Benny Benassi celebrating being positive. All that stuff, you know, people will continue on being who they are out there. UK textile firms say that they could have begun making protective equipment 10 days ago, but the government never placed the order. So they've delayed, dragged their feet as long as they could to kill as many people as they could, to infect as many people as they could. And whatever solution we might find now, it's going to be too little, too late. Although the Plaquenil Zithromax, Zmax, if you will, is continuing to show promise. And right now they've done an emergency authorization for this hydroxychloroquine. We'll have to see if they're allowing the Zithromax to go along with it, which is a necessity. And, you know, I'm sure you know the rest of the story there. But if they had distributed this to everyone like iodine pills, they could have brought the numbers down instantaneously. They still haven't done that. And it's not going to be over the counter anytime soon. They want bottlenecks. They want the slow rollout of, you know, of the treatment. And, you know, as far as hydroxychloroquine, it's prescribed to people with lupus, and people have been taking this for like 5-10 years every day. So, you know, we feel confident that this might be a short-term treatment solution. We'll have to see how that goes. It looks like Novartis has donated 130 million doses of hydroxychloroquine. So, you know, divide that by 10 doses per person. You know, it's probably like a 10-day regimen, maybe more. That's enough for 13 million people, maybe. Probably not even 10 million people. So it starts to give you an idea of the numbers. This guy had a nice little explanation for why the hospitals are so empty.
Well, howdy there.
And, you know, Bo here seems, you know, pretty nice on the level. He's probably a closet, you know, Luciferian. I don't know that for a fact, but just guessing. But he actually seems normal. He could hang around. What's this? Hospitals look empty because they're literally not allowing anyone inside. They've canceled all non-essential appointments, and there's no non-essential staff. So it seems a lot less busy than usual. Of course, new arrivals arrive by ambulance. So really the only way to gauge, you know, what the traffic is by staking it out and counting the ambulances that come in and perhaps comparing it to what it was before. We've seen statistics that there's actually been less people killed this year than this time last year, because there's less people out there doing drive-bys, less people out there ODing on the fentanyl. You know, they're locked inside and they're going cold turkey from the drugs. So this is actually saving lives for the time being overall. We'll have to see how this ends up, but everything is slowed down. We got some footage from the sick bay on the USS Enterprise. It's completely empty. It's fascinating. Speaking of the Starship Enterprise, remember these 5G death towers now are beaming you, tracking you wherever you go, and actually phaser beaming your ass, you know, as soon as you're connected to the network, at least with the 5G phones. That's the plan. beamforming. All EMF is actually suppressing your immune system. So reduce your time on the Wi-Fi. Get a tethered connection, you know, a laptop with an Ethernet cable, and test to make sure that you're not getting exposed to Wi-Fi and the like. And of course the 3G, 4G. This guy, let's see, another doctor demanding that Plaquenil and Azithromycin be rolled out in mass. That still hasn't been done. The combination is key. That's what the studies show. This is an inside shot of the derailment in Hunan province. Providing overwhelming evidence that humans generate infectious aerosols and quantitative data to improve mathematical models of transmission. Obviously, this is airborne, and the little spores, the little virus spores, are like pollen, and they just float in the air, and they'll linger for like 3-4 hours in the air when somebody's been there. So, you know, this is interesting in terms of dynamics of reinfection, especially in households, workplaces, and the like. And as the virus load goes up, so will the symptoms, and it's all bad news. So you want fresh air, you want to ventilate, you want to get a mask, you know, even within the house until everybody can get chloroquined or something. More footage of this wreck, and you can't imagine. These are hospitals in Turkey, probably. And this is what you don't want to see. I mean, this becomes like a super spreader event, and everybody gets contaminated, and hardcore, not just a little bit. And so if we're seeing empty hospitals, that's exactly what we want to see. We don't want to see this kind of thing in the lobby where it's spilling over and people are packed in like sardines. We saw that in Wuhan and the like. And it seems like the medical community has gotten the picture there. Now, this is video of, you know, the body bags being loaded up into the truck. And this dude, you know, obviously working the day shift.
This is full up with bodies. It's like a load.
This is one load. So this is one load, and we're seeing, you know, pictures of these things kind of full, not stacked up like to the roof, but it seems like, you know, all along the floor. And there's no telling how many semis full, but you know, this picture probably gives us an idea. We can go back to it, wherever it might be. Here it looks like they've stacked maybe like 10 on each side, so maybe like 20 people per semi. If they've got 1,000 casualties, that would be already 500 semis full like this that have left hospitals in New York City. 500 semis just like this. That would be a realistic you know, description of what's going on right now. Oh, the video guy is so fired. Look at these two, unprepared. Now they're using tampons. Might actually work pretty nice. You could probably put like a tampon in a handkerchief and wrap it around. That might work okay. You might just be able to find the gas mask filters and make your own type of gas mask at home. Check out our website for just a visual of that, stfnreport.com. And, you know, we're always looking to make new friends. If you want to reach out and talk to us, check out our Twitter, Stranger Than Fiction News. You can find that on our website, stfnreport.com. Send us a message. We want to know what you're thinking out there. Doctors and nurses exposed to SARS-CoV are coming back sick, then intubated, requiring mechanical ventilation, and half of them don't make it. I personally know of many. This is a doctor from the New York area. And, or is he a researcher? Physician, hospitalist, assistant medical director, division of hospital medicine, assistant professor of medicine at Cornell, etc., etc. Okay. So, but anyways, the situation seems pretty grim. Now, this is a very nice graphic looking at the curves between most countries and Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, which basically issued masks to everyone. They all had masks, like basically day one of the outbreak. And you see how nice their curves are compared to the rest of the world? See that? So this is what we should have at least implemented, minimum, bare minimum, day one. They should have been rolling out mass like iodine tablets for everyone. And they should have been stopping the rallies and mass events. And that would have given us a chance. Now this thing is so spread out in the country that it's just going to keep coming back every winter. Hey, check this out. Made in China. See that? He's wiping his feet with your masks. You'll get that. Nicely packaged. Not sterile. And it's not the kind of mask you want to get anyways. I mean, these surgical masks do nothing for the most part. They look the part, but they don't do anything. You really want something that covers the mouth entirely, you know, with a hermetic seal of sorts. So this is the model that they've been touting during the White House press conferences. And it's funny because on this graphic that was loaded up into Twitter, it's like the top of the curve is like 450,000 people going into like a bed, a hospital bed. And when you click on it, it's been like, this curve has been like changed to, this whole scale has been changed to 250,000. So they're trying to bring it down. They're trying to, you know, minimize it, baby step it, hyper normalize it. But like we've said, every day is just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, right? It's just like we forecasted. Food parcels arrive at the doorsteps of many vulnerable people, and it's got like a box of cereal and a roll of toilet paper. I mean, they're so fucked. They've been waiting like 2 weeks for this. You know what I mean? For people that can't get out, right? Field hospital set up in New York Central Park. We'll see what happens there. Government relaxes abortion laws so women can take termination pills. All right. So this is why the virus is here. 40% of the patients undergo lung ventilation, are now under the age of 40 in Moscow. German state finance minister kills himself. That's how serious they take things out there in Germany. I mean, they live to work out there. And the minister is like, oh shit, oh, our economy crashed. He just, you know, he went Harry Carey. Imagine if our politicians were this devoted. Like, oh, they just fucked the whole entire country. They killed everybody. You know, they would all be committing mass suicide if they had, you know, if they were a little honorable. But instead, they're just going to be like, oh, we didn't tell you we sold our stock. What you going to do about it, bitches? Here's the National Guard. Enjoy the death towers out there. We'll catch you next time, real soon. Until then, if you're listening to this, you are the